There are people that genuinely believe Trump is not running against Biden. They're in his campaign. They believe that he's running against someone else. It might be Gavin Newsom. They don't know. They believe Biden gets pulled in May.
He's 81 years old. Who knows if he'd even make it through campaigning, let alone another term. He's well past, I think, the life expectancy for the average American male already. And a lot of people are talking about what the Democrat Party might do in terms of who they're going to run. Who else could the Democrats possibly run?
I don't know how they're going to run this guy. I'm hoping they I want a little May surprise. They pull him and throw somebody else in. But Newsom would tank. Michelle Obama won't do it. And there's no, I mean, in theory, she would be good, maybe, but I don't know if in practicality. I don't know who they got.
Tim, we got a little bet going on around here.
I don't know who they got. If they pull Biden,
they think they're going to pull Biden. I think they're going with the corpse.
I talked to people in Palm Beach, in Mar-a-Lago, people who believe they're going to pull him in May. This is not a conspiracy theory. Well, I mean, it's something that's
well, if it's around Mar-a-Lago,
but
sure.
there are people that genuinely believe Trump is not running against Biden. They're in his campaign. They believe that he's running against someone else. It might be Gavin Newsom. They don't know. They believe Biden gets pulled in May.
But why May? Because our friend Tom was usually here. He thinks it's going to be in August,
13th.
which I think
Well,
is...
when is their convention?
13th.
It's the August 13th.
No, so I think
Which I feel is like incredibly late in the game.
The reason they would pull him in May is because then you head right into the summer. No one cares. People are not paying as much attention. So
I'll be in Mykonos. That's fine.
The person wouldn't get a ton of scrutiny over the summer. They would be kind of crowned at the convention. Then they got a few months, and then boom, there you go.
By the way, did you see Spider-Man?
Yeah.
They are trying to get in one of the movies in Spider-Man. They showed Michelle Obama 20, but it didn't say the number.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had Michelle Obama in the movie Spider-Man in the back, like you can miss this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
I
one
don't
of
think
these
she wants to do it.
Spider-Man movie Easter egg.
Don't you think?
Hold on. Let's see if we can find this real quick. Oh, look at that. Right there. Right there. Up in the top corner there. You can clearly see it. Huh, interesting. All right.
How was Spider-Man's movie Easter egg teased Michelle Obama candidacy?
Oh, weird.
But it only shows 20. It doesn't show the other numbers. So if you go a little lower, maybe Control F20. If you Control F20, it'll come up, Rob. Can you Control F20? There you go. Boom. Hit it again. Papa, go one more time. Right there. So in a blink, you'll miss it in a moment. Across the Spider-Verse, we see a sticker on the wall of Miles' room that reads Michelle Obama 20, but you don't see the other numbers.
Yeah. But what they're basically saying is leave it to your imagination. We've got 76 more years to run Michelle Obama. Until 2100 when the numbers change.
But going off of what Tim said, let's be honest. Unless he has a body double or they drug him up, there's absolutely no way he can go up against Trump.
They can't run him.
They cannot do it.
I fully agree with all you guys.
Well, no, I know, but
they're going to run this corpse, and they're going to drug him up, and he's running.
But Tim,
honestly, I think there's no way they can run Joe Biden. There's no way. Let me know what you guys think.
He's still their guy.
But hold on, and I get it because numbers don't lie.
I'm looking at what's in front of me.
My thing is
he's eating ice cream and campaigning,
and sanity, dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever the hell is going on. The odds are that's the Vegas odds. We don't think we're awake.
Wow, check that out.
Who besides Gavin, because that's the only one that's out going to all these debates, Republican National. He's everywhere. That little snake doing his he's revering Biden. Michelle, I don't think she wants to. I think it's especially because Obama and them are running the show. Hey, you have to, for the sake of the party. So I know you're selling out arenas talking about God knows what. We need you.
It is interesting, though, when you look at Gavin Newsom, how he very specifically doing a lot of talking about national issues. He debated Ron DeSantis, which unless you're considering making some sort of national level attempt at office, why on earth would you debate a governor from a state clear across the country, right? Gavin Newsom, in my opinion, is showing all the signs that he wants to be president. But then the question comes down to strategy. Why didn't the guy just run? What's he waiting for? Tim Pool actually has an interesting theory or hypothesis that Biden will have a convenient to the party health issue and have to step down, and then Newsom will kind of step in and save the day, and it'll set him up for this beautiful campaign where he's the young, fresh legs that comes in and saves the party. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird why he's being so national in his approach, yet he hasn't announced that he's running. He didn't run, obviously. So there are a lot of questions there. I don't know. I'd say if anybody who's an actual politician is considering a run for the presidency in some weird way coming in when Biden has to step down, it would certainly be Gavin Newsom.
Get your ass in there. Give us this 4 years.
He doesn't believe that.
He does.
It's not like I'm
By the way,
super excited about campaigning for Biden. I just think that they're going to run this guy.
Would you vote for Michelle Obama instead of Trump?
I'm not voting for anyone on the left these days. I think it's all a joke.
Love that attitude.
But I will tell you who's making some waves, and his numbers are going up and up and up and up and up. And his name is Bobby Kennedy, and he's 20-1 now.
No, they'll never run him. They'll never run him.
Who do you mean they're never going to run him?
The Democratic.
Well, no, he's going to run as an independent.
He'll never win.
He'll never win.
He'll never win.
Well, his
He's got
odds.
no shot.
According to the odds, he's got a 20-1 shot.
Michelle, look where Michelle is.
I'm following the money here, guys.
It's going to be Trump unless they throw there's some type of, I don't know, there's got to be like an October surprise.
Look at these odds real quick, though. So Donald Trump, obviously, at the top. Joe Biden. Michelle Obama coming in at number 3. And then there's a drastic jump in the odds, right? Gavin Newsom 16-1, Kamala 18-1. Forget about it. Yeah, right. Nikki Haley 18-1. It's interesting that Kamala's above RFK. That's kind of shocking. Gretchen Whitmer 66-1. The Democrats really have nobody that has sort of the national prominence, the gravitas, all the things you look for in a candidate. Newsom is the closest thing, unless Michelle Obama does decide to run. It's very interesting.
It's really, like you said, very exciting. But I think if they run Biden, they lose. I don't know who they could run where I mean, on paper, Michelle's a good candidate. We don't know how she would do. You just don't know. You don't know. On paper, she's a good candidate. We don't know. The other people, there's no name recognition with like Gretchen Whitmer. No,
these are VP candidates that are servicing.
Okay.
But I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
Look, the Ross Perot, 1992, made some waves as a third party candidate. This guy was 5'4", and he talked like this, and he was kind of like a John F. Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy's a legit dude. Well, other than his raspy voice. I mean, you've had him on the podcast. Great podcast with him and
him a lot.
Cheryl. Theo Vaughn said that he would vote for him in an instant.
We all like him.
Why don't you think he's got a chance?
Because the numbers are not at all trending in the direction where you would put him in the running. He's not. If you look at the polls, I mean, this is not. I mean, just as an analyst, again, I like him, and I think he would probably be a really good president. As much as you can judge anyone for a job, right? You hiring is. Gary Vee said once, hiring is guessing. He said that to me, and that kind of made sense, I guess.
It's true.
But I don't think that you could predict how he against Trump, and whoever else in the Democrat. Do you see RFK winning against Trump?
No.
I think if you get those three guys, the old and senile versus the old and angry, and versus the fit and vocally challenged RFK, if you get them on a debate stage, I truly think that RFK is going to make noise and waves and call out both sides. I feel like there's such a yearning in this country for a third-party candidate.
I think
Patrick
Patrick will agree with me here. Do you see any way you're putting your money on RFK beating Trump? There is not a possibility. Patrick would not put $1 on that.
He's the only candidate that actually has a favorable approval rating.
By the way, and it's great. I mean, you ought to go bet on this. If you're 20-1, put $1,000. You win 20 grand.
You guys, you know what? Maybe I will.
I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, there's nobody here. I
like the guy.
I don't think anybody here doesn't like him. I think the part that you have to be thinking about is the following. So remember how Vivek, everybody would ask and say, how the hell is Vivek only at 7%? or 8%. This is so weird. Why is he at 7 or 8%? Because his message was 100% the same message as Trump's message, which means what? If there was no Trump, Vivek would be at 52%, right?
Yep.
So you have no idea how curious I am where Vivek would be in 2028.
Wow.
I am so curious to see where he would be in 2028 because maybe it's because the mathematical side of me where I just kind of want to see, is that really the reasoning? Because establishment, he's not an establishment.
I don't think that's the only reasoning, right? You got to.
I think that is a big part of it, though. I think Vivek was clearly the only other America First candidate on the level that Trump was. Obviously, you can make the claim that DeSantis is as well. And look, I think DeSantis could have potentially been a good president. I just don't think it was his time. But I think PBD has a good point about Vivek. He was essentially jockeying for the same people that Trump already had, and you're not going to flip people away from Trump in the America First movement. I just don't think that is possible.
Look at across the board, right? It's
maybe
not,
religion, maybe background, maybe skin color.
There's all of that. There's
Name
also
recognition.
How long do we know this person?
Right.
How long have we seen them? Do we have any level of trust? Do we, I think it's hard to,
Well, look, I mean, I fully agree with you. We've known Vivek's name for maybe 24 months, and that's generous. The Kennedy name is as everlasting and as great of an American name.
Go back to it. I'm going to go to the next
what I'm
story.
saying is we've known Trump for 50 years.
Right.
Biden's been a politician 50 years. It's name recognition.
Then guess what? Then
Vivek doesn't have it yet.
But you ready for this?
That's all I'm saying.
The Obama name. You know those 81 million votes that Biden got? They're gonna go for her 1,000%. She will not have a problem.
You could be right.
She won't. She won't do it.
I'm not a believer in Michelle.
She has.
But the question is, if she did do it, would she beat Trump? Because of Vinny's point there about all the supposed 81 million voters for Biden, she'd probably get all those people, or however many people actually voted for Biden. That's a contentious topic. So, even if she ran, which she probably wouldn't run, but if she did, could she actually beat Trump? I don't know.
I don't think she has an interest.
I think she has to. I think she has to for the party.
I don't think she has an interest in it.
Do you want to bet?
I wonder if you believe this is a dark business.
Yeah.
Here's what you have to believe. How much you think Michelle cares about her and her husband's legacy?
A good amount.
What's a good amount? Is that a number one? Is that a top three? Do they value their legacy more than their freedom
Yes,
and
but
their?
They might feel that this tarnishes their legacy. Because, by the way, here's the other thing: she doesn't beat Trump. Sorry, she doesn't. Michelle Obama doesn't beat Trump in the general. This is such a cooked up idea. I even have fallen prey to it myself, but I don't know if she wins. I think it might be the best chance, but still, do you see Michelle? And I mean, I ask you again, you're a business guy.
Yeah.
Are you putting money on Michelle beating Trump?
I agree with Tim. I think she's probably the best option the Democrats have. I think she's a better option than Newsom because this country votes on likability and image and all that stuff and not necessarily knowledge or policy or anything like that. That's not to say that Newsom is good in any of those areas either, but that's the question. Even if they ran Michelle, would she be able to beat Trump, or is he just this unstoppable force at this point?
No, that's not the question, though.
Okay.
It's not the question. The question is the following. Do you believe legacy is the most important thing to them, or the life they live, the lifestyle of the rich and famous celebrity Hollywood, George Clooney? What do you think they value the most?
Combination, but I do think legacy is a big consideration.
Okay, do you think they became presidents by themselves, or a lot of people?
A lot of people.
Okay.
Oh,
so
sure.
do you think a certain set of puppet masters helped them become presidents?
1,000%.
Great. Then guess what? They're owned. Then if you're owned, then the people who own are going to come knocking on the door. And do you think in the political space, the people...
Not everything you own behaves the way you want.
Well, watch this, though. But let's stay on this topic here. Let's remember how this whole thing you were saying, conversation starts with this and it leads somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
the whole thing with comedy curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. But do you think the people who owned and pushed have intel on them that nobody else has access to, including the world, you
Absolutely.
and I. Fair enough. So what if that meeting, do you think a meeting would take place where the meeting goes like this? Michelle,
Suck it
we're
up.
going to need you to run.
Yeah.
And she's going to fight it. And he's going to fight it. And then it's going to say, we don't want to make this bad and ugly. We want this thing to be civil. We don't want all the information to come out. We've worked very hard to protect your legacy.
Yeah.
I think, the other people will not be happy because it's always going to be the other people are not going to be happy
Right.
because they helped you get there. They want you to run, and they're willing to back you up, and they're going to put $2 billion up, and you're going to be running for 4 years. We can put somebody else after that, but for now, we're going to need you to run. Yeah. Do you think that kind of a meeting has taken place?
I think that the problem I have with that kind of meeting, number one, is I think that whatever they have on the Obamas would severely damage the Democratic Party. I don't think they
That's a
would
good point.
leak stuff that would damage the Democratic Party if these are Democratic power brokers. I also don't know how convinced they are that Michelle Obama would beat Trump. I'm not convinced. I just am not convinced. I think it might, on paper it looks good, but think about it. Have we ever seen Michelle Obama in any type of political debate? No. Have we ever? We've never seen her as a politician.
No.
The reason she's so popular is because she's never gotten into the muck. When they go low, we go high, all that stuff. She's been able to have the luxury of doing that because she's been a political spouse. If she becomes Hillary Clinton lost twice to a first-term senator.
Michelle's more likable than Hillary. Hillary's the
She is,
least
but
liked person in America.
For
in
sure,
politics.
but Michelle has the advantage of never having been a politician. She's a politician.
She hasn't had to get down and dirty.
She hasn't had to ever really, she's never been, back against the wall fighting.
Trump won, and he had never been a politician. He had
Trump
never done
is
debate.
a much different character than Michelle.
Trump is a monster in a good way.
Trump's also funny.
He's been in every rap song ever.
Right.
He had The
But
Apprentice.
guys, let me tell you. So listen. Are you convinced that Dems are going to give up this one loss and go 3-2 and let Trump run?
No, I fully do not think they want to see
Trump. They're going to put Newsom ahead of Michelle. And
I'm shocked that Gavin Newsom's odds aren't higher than Michelle's. I don't get it.
And if you think about it, and Tim, to go to your point, but to go a little bit backwards, she was recently on the On Purpose podcast where she said, I am terrified about what could possibly happen if Trump wins in 2024. It's basically saying...
Yeah, that's every Democrat, though.
No. But for her to be saying, hold on, I'm worried, she's terrified. That means she's basically saying she's losing sleep because of this threat. These are just little nuggets.
That doesn't mean she's going to run, though.
Yeah, but I think that's also just kind of playing the part. Like, that's what she's got to say. She has to say that as sort of, as Tim says, a Democrat power broker, a figurehead within the party. She's Barack Obama's wife. Of course she's going to say that she's terrified if Trump wins.
We'll see. Let's go to the next story. We'll see. Well, let's go to the next story. So Epstein.
All right. That was a long one, but I thought it was an interesting conversation, and it's something that I'm curious about. Who is going to end up running for the Democrats? I'm not convinced it'll be Joe Biden. I'm fairly confident there's no way he could continue on. Trump's no spring chicken either. I wish we had fresh young candidates all around with great ideas and lots of energy, but you do have to concede that when you compare the two, Trump is sharper. Trump can string together words and not mumble. And again, it'd be great if we didn't have two octogenarians as our front runners. But I think if you compare the two, Biden's in a worse place and there's no way he could possibly run. Trump seems to have more energy. He seems to just soak up the negative energy and it gives him power and he moves forward. I don't know. It's crazy. I wouldn't be able to do it. Considering that Joe Biden isn't going to run. Let's just go ahead and say that is factual. We know Biden won't run. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll shock me. Let's say he doesn't. Who the heck can run for the Democrat Party? And of any of the people who could run for the Democrat Party, can any of them beat Donald Trump at this point? It's a good question. Let me know what you guys think.